African.
It is the 6th of July 2024, and I welcome you to the only show that brings you happenings in the world of diplomacy and international relations, Diplomatic Affairs. My name is Harriet Nati. The show comes off every Saturday from 4 to 5 o'clock p.m. on Pan-African Television. We are also live on YouTube and Facebook. Of course, you can also find us in over 40 African countries in the interest of Pan-Africanism. We have so many stories piled up today, and we want to share the latest in the world of diplomacy and international relations with you right here on Diplomatic Affairs. I'll take a break. When I come back, we will delve straight into the stories. Well, welcome back. This is the only show that brings you happenings in the world of diplomacy and international relations. Now, to begin with, let's take you to the Kempinski Gold Coast City Hotel, where the Sustainable Development Goals Action Summit 2024 took place. Now, speaking at the event, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo called for a bold and united effort to scale up action on the Sustainable Development Goals, which ends in 2030. The president stressed that no single country could tackle the cross-border challenges associated with achieving the SDGs alone, and therefore emphasized the necessity for global cooperation, which the SDGs represent. The president made these remarks at the opening of the two-day Action Summit.
Our world today is a mix of remarkable progress and significant challenges. On one hand, advancements in technology, medicine, and communications have transformed our lives. On the other, we face a confluence of crises that threaten our very existence as humans. Climate change is accelerating, leading to extreme weather phenomena, rising sea levels, and shrinking biodiversity. These deleterious impacts are being felt globally, especially by vulnerable communities. Environmental degradation is undermining food security, displacing populations, and worsening economic inequalities. The consequences of the current situation and its trajectory are dire. If we fail to act decisively now, future generations will inherit a world beset by environmental degradation, economic instability, and social fragmentation. Our children and grandchildren will face harsher climates, scarcer resources, and greater conflicts unless we change course. No one country can deal with these cross-border challenges on their own. Crucially, the escalating crises have reinforced the necessity for all stakeholders working together to find solutions to existing and emerging challenges. And this is what the SDGs represent and espouse. The relevance of the SDGs has only grown in today's world. They address the root causes of the issues we face, promoting not just economic growth, but also inclusive and responsible development. The goals remind us that no one should be left behind as we advance towards a more equitable world.
One thing that is clear is that we continue to have abundant opportunities in the SDGs to address these challenges and foster an inclusive and sustainable development across our continent, and to give our world a fair chance of achieving global peace and stability and gender prosperity for all, and to save our planet. The urgency of action on the SDGs cannot be overstated. The opportunities to act are abundant, and the cost of failure is too high to ignore. Success in achieving the goals will bring numerous benefits, including improved health, enhanced education, sustainable economic growth, and environmental sustainability.
Goals Action Summit, there were a lot of panels to discuss the various issues that the SDGs are faced with or facing the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals, looking at the time frame left. I also had the opportunity to moderate a panel, and with the topic harnessing the transformative potential of innovation and emerging technologies to accelerate SDGs action with some change makers here within the continent. Now, away from the SDGs, let's talk about EU-Ghana relations. In a display of strong partnership and commitment to economic growth, the second Ghana-EU Business Forum kicked off here in Accra as part of a strategic move to strengthen economic ties. The business dialogue, held under the theme Fostering an Investment in Non-Traditional Value Chains under the EU Global Gateway Strategy, highlighted the shared goals of economic diversification and mutual prosperity between the European Union and Ghana.
The EU Global Gateway Strategy, implemented since December 2021, presents a unique opportunity for Ghana and the EU to enhance their economic ties, promote innovation, and create sustainable value chains. By focusing on non-traditional sectors, both parties aim to unlock new opportunities, address challenges, and drive economic transformation beyond the traditional export of raw materials. His Excellency Erchad Rizali is the EU ambassador to Ghana.
First and foremost, I would like to highlight the fact that today is a very important moment in this, I would say, a love story between the European Union and Ghana, but there are no declaration of love, there is only proof of love. And today is a proof of love because we are gathering both business from Ghana, businesses from European Union, for the greater endeavor of ensuring better and more, because we want more of Ghana in Europe, and I'm pretty sure that in Ghana, you want more of Europe in terms of investment, in terms of value addition, in terms of prosperity.
Minister for Trade and Industry, K.T. Hammond, emphasized the long-standing partnership between Ghana and the EU, particularly through the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA. This agreement, he said, has not only facilitated access to European markets for Ghanaian goods, but also fostered capacity building and investment opportunities. He further stated that in 2023, Ghana saw an 8% increase in exports to the EU, reaching 2.6 billion euros, while imports from the EU declined by 11% to 3.3 billion euros, resulting in a total trade volume of 6 billion euros.
We applaud you and the EU for this initiative that seeks to protect the planet by setting a higher social and environmental standards and by providing a working template for the adoption of sustainable investment. Let me make it clear, however, that most developing countries, Ghana not excluded, require technical assistance to adapt and operationalize this template. We also recognize that a robust and well-resourced supply chain will be required to adopt sustainable investment models.
The EU also launched its significant investment of 32 million euros through the manufacturing and access to vaccines, medicines and health technologies in Africa, which underscored its commitment to supporting Ghana's healthcare sector and pharmaceutical industry. Deputy Director General of the European Commission, Madame Miriam Ferrand, reiterated the EU's dedication to supporting Ghana's development goals, emphasizing the positive impact of the MAV Plus initiative on the country's healthcare sector and economy.
After saying a few words this morning on Global Gateway, now it's really an even bigger pleasure to be with you because we show what we mean concretely. In the announcement and discussion this morning about one of the flagships of Global Gateway at the level of the African continent, what we call MAV+. It's an initiative that started just after the COVID in 2021 to support the manufacturing of vaccines and health products by countries in the African continent, taking stock of what happened during COVID, the fact that the lack of autonomy of the continent in terms of its own production for vaccines and medical products and the dependency that was really showcased during the COVID crisis.
Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Nsia Asare, expressed gratitude for the EU's collaboration in making Ghana a regional vaccine manufacturing hub.
From the beginning of the President's vision to set up a vaccine manufacturing plant in Ghana as a hub for the African sub-region, I think we all saw what happened during the COVID-19, especially when we started having vaccines. The vaccine geopolitics and neocolonialism and all these things. So the president said, never again shall we find ourselves in this situation. And he made a very bold decision that Ghana is going to be one of the hubs for vaccine manufacturing in the African sub-region. And quickly, EU and also very importantly, GIZ came to help us from 2021 when the president set up a 13-member vaccine manufacturing committee to come out of the roadmap. And I'm very happy the technical advice and the monetary support that Team EU and also GIZ gave to Ghana.
The EU's ongoing support for vaccine manufacturing in Ghana includes a 3.1 million euros project with the German Development Corporation to enhance the capacity of Ghana's Food and Drugs Authority. Additionally, a 5 million euros grant from the European Investment Bank to DEK Vaccines Limited aims to support the construction of a vaccine manufacturing facility in the Greater Accra region. Stanley Kwabla Aku's report read to you.
Now, let's talk about the soft power approach to getting things done when it comes to diplomacy. The International Youth Fellowship is a non-governmental organization which connects young people with opportunities to transform their lives. And of course, as part of IYF's mission to raise competent youth and problem solvers, organizers have adopted a more flexible or the soft power approach to getting things done by introducing a dance competition between young people, and this initiative is driven by Koreans here in Ghana. It is a collaboration between Korea and Ghana, which has some government organizations partnering them in driving the aspirations of these young people. We were at the dance competition and captured this for you.
Yes, IYF is International Youth Fellowship, and then we are working at 100 countries of the world. And then this is an NGO, and there's now each country have is the youth challenges. So we want to give to them the dream and hope and a vision. When they have a dream and vision, they could do everything. In Korea also, the very long time, it was very poverty country. But when Korea had a vision and dream, when Korean youth had a vision and dream, Korea could develop amazingly. In these times, I believe the Ghana is the center of the world, and our youth is the center of the world. So when our youth in Ghana have dream and vision, they will be the world best, the student, and then the world best. They will make world best country. So we have a campaign. The Ghana is the center of the world, and then as first project, we are going to the World Cultural Dance Festival with our dance team. And then we will get the grand prize at the greatest stage. And every country will know Ghana is the center of the world.
In the International Youth Fellowship in 2010, as I joined, I was young by then. But really looking at this organization has really had a great impact on my life. Through this NGO, I was able to go for a GNC, an exchange program called the Good News Corps Overseas in Mali, where I stayed there for over 2 years. I learned their culture, the language, and I was able to exchange with people. When we talk about GNC is when we, the young ones, we, the youth, go out there and exchange our youthful age for the joy and the happiness of other people. Really, from the beginning, when I went, it wasn't easy at all. Language barrier, food, so many things, so many circumstances and difficulty I had. But since the motto is challenge, change, and cohesion, I had to challenge, I overcame, and now I am a French teacher personally. I teach French. Yes, and I also sometimes interpret in French for people who come and they are not able to communicate well. And all thanks to this NGO, I was able to get the opportunity to travel. And this year also, we have the dream of going to Korea to win the grand prize as our national anthem goes, that we uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So we are moving with the promise that Ghana is indeed the center of the world. And as we move, we are going to lift up the name of Ghana, and we are going to show out there that Ghana is indeed the center of the world, and we are the best, and we are good as well. Thank you.
To learn how to selflessly live for other people. So we have a slogan that sell your youth to gain the hearts of the people. So in 2018, I got the opportunity to travel to South Korea with my team, the Ghana Righteous Star. And in South Korea, we were able to win the gold prize. So winning the gold prize, we came back to Ghana, and what we got, we used to support the Ghana prisons. Looking at all the training I've gotten in this organization, I learned one particular thing. That is, normally when we go to school, we complete, we only tend to think about how to get things for ourselves, how to gain for personal use. So when we think in this way, we only think to a certain level, which only limits what we can do. So in this organization, we learned to live for other people. Living for other people, you realize you have to think wider and also higher. And as you think wider and higher, you develop yourself, because if you don't reach that level, how would you be able to help other people also get out of what they are in? So in this training that we have here, we learn to think wider and also higher to overcome our challenges. There are lots of challenges you meet in this journey we are taking, in this mantle we have taken upon ourselves. But this year again, we want to go back to South Korea to represent Ghana. We know Ghana is the center of the world due to the Greenwich Meridian that goes through Tema, yes, but who has sat down to really think about, if we are the center of the world, what are the good impacts we can make out of that thing being there for us? So when we realize what we have, aside the minerals and all the good things we have, Ghana is the center of the world. So we want to sell Ghana out there, so that the world will come to Ghana to see all the riches we have here. People think Africa, especially when you go to Europe, they think Africa is a forest somewhere, honestly. But here lies all the rich culture and everything we have here. So here we are, we've gathered ourselves as a team. We want to go out there to South Korea to sell Ghana, its rich culture and all the riches we have here, and the heart, the human resource, everything we have here out there as the center of the world. So this is a little I can say.
This has been a very interesting performance I came to witness. I came together with my whole family, and I could see the excitement in the air. Actually, when I heard about the project of Ghana being the center of the world, I also wanted to witness what that really meant. And witnessing what I saw, I can say it is only those who have hope and dream that can act even without anything prepared, believing that it is possible. So I also want to spread this kind of encouragement to my workers. I believe the fire service will also be transformed if they should tap into this vision of seeing Ghana to be the center of the world.
This is certainly the interesting part of our episode today. Let's talk about the 248th U.S. Independence Day, which took place right here at the Embassy of the United States in Ghana. And this is something that is celebrated across the world, globally. Wherever the U.S. has its mission, there is the commemoration of its National Day. And on such occasion, we were at the embassy as well with our cameras, following all the activities lined up for this momentous occasion. The ambassador of the United States of America, Virginia E. Palmer, in a speech to commemorate the event, acknowledged efforts made by Ghana to protect its peace and democracy, despite the country's diversity in politics, religion, and culture. She further stressed the need for continuous peace ahead of polls in both the United States of America and Ghana in November and December this year, respectively. The ambassador also called for the promotion of American businesses in Ghana.
Every breath you take, every king.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch. We're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wriggling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the course of freedom and of humility. Make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors' rule with all our will and might forevermore.
8th anniversary of U.S. independence. Celebrating it in Ghana is a very special thing for me, since the U.S.-Ghana relationship really began before there was a United States. And it began in terrible, terrible times. But the fact that we have such a strong relationship now is based on the diasporas that followed back and forth, and especially on our common values. And it's evolved into a friendship of like-minded partners. And we're very appreciative every day of that partnership. Those shared values are many, but on this evening, in this election year, the two that come to mind are democracy and diversity. And I say election year because Ghana and the United States have elections within a month of each other. Democracy, because it's the heartbeat of our nations, the foundation on which our countries are built. And diversity, because it's what gives democracy its value and its purpose. We see neighbors in West Africa struggling with democratic backsliding and coups. We see our adversaries attempting to divide and conquer by eroding public trust in our governments and our democratic institutions. We see extremists exploiting inequalities and injustices. In some places, we see attempts to silence voters and spread disinformation. Perhaps most importantly, it's hard to get our citizens to remember that though we may disagree on how to get there, we are all trying to reach the same place, that more perfect union, e pluribus unum, out of many one. This journey is always difficult, but in 2024, during this election year for both Ghana and the United States, elections are messy, they're loud, they're chaotic, they're downright exhausting. But you know what? If an election is done right, that's how it should be. Elections are messy because they're inclusive. They're loud and chaotic because everyone is using their voice, assuming and trusting they will be heard. Elections are exhausting because they're worth fighting for. And I want to salute President Akufo-Addo and the flag bearers and the candidates for their sort of oft expressed commitment that Ghana's elections will be free, transparent, fair, and credible. There's still more to do, and this year will test the democracies of both our republics. But if we uphold the democratic institutions that have remained a bulwark of our countries, draw upon our diversity as our strength, not a liability, and insist on the rights of our fellow citizens to voice their opinions and dissent, and to be who they are, even as we disagree, our republics will be in good hands. I believe we can keep them.
These celebrations serve to recognize our strong bilateral relations over the past years, anchored on common values, mutual respect, and a strong commitment to democracy, respect for human rights, and good and accountable governance. The countless contributions of Americans and Ghanaians alike who have dedicated themselves to building bridges of understanding, promoting cultural exchange, and fostering cooperation in various fields attest to a strong relationship between our two nations. The United States of America has been steadfast in its support to Ghana's quest for self-determination and freedom, with warm and fruitful friendship between our two nations growing immensely over time and expanding into various spheres of collaboration, cooperation, and bilateral visits between our two countries. The recent visit of His Excellency, Her Excellency, Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States of America, to Ghana in March last year, further cemented the cherished close bonds between our two nations. Without a doubt, economic and trade cooperation is a cornerstone of our relationship. The United States remains a significant trade and investment partner for Ghana, contributing to our economic growth and job creation.
Hello there, you're welcome to the only show that brings you happenings in the world of diplomacy and international relations, diplomatic affairs. My name is Harriet Nate. Now, as you can see from the background, you know that we are currently at the Embassy of the United States of America. And it's all about the 248th anniversary of the United States, and we are celebrating with them. Now, it is very important that we join the U.S. in celebrating this momentous occasion, because the U.S. is a very good friend of Ghana. So we are here to celebrate with the United States of America. And of course, in the speech of Her Excellency Virginia E. Palmer outlined the many relations, or the trade and economic relations, plus other relations between the United States of America and the Republic of Ghana. I have with me the director of the Americas Bureau at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration to help us understand relations between the United States of America and Ghana. Hello, Director. It's good to see you. You look really nice.
Thank you very much, Harriet. Good evening.
Good evening. It's the 248th anniversary of the United States of America. We know that Ghana and the United States of America have a very good relationship. They trade in so many things. We know that we have so many Ghanaians also studying in the United States of America, and we have so much in terms of business, doing business together. I mean, from where you sit, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, where are we right now when it comes to Ghana-U.S. relations?
Well, even the way this event was so well attended is a testament to how strong the relations between the two countries are. And I'm very confident that it will only grow from strength to strength. You know, like His Excellency the Ambassador was saying, we have a lot in common in terms of shared values, in terms of diversity, and of course in terms of our embrace of the democratic principles and human rights. So those are good bases for us to build relations and to ensure that the relations grow stronger with time. And I have no doubt in my mind that after the elections, the U.S. will continue to keep Ghana as a development partner, as an ally within the multilateral sphere in every other context that you want to think of. We are always looking for new ways to expand the scope of our relations with America. So we continue to work hard to ensure that the relations, like I said, are beneficial to the peoples of the two countries.
Well, we know that the United States of America has elections coming up, and I heard the ambassador mentioning that this will be a test of both countries' democracies. What do you make of that?
Well, like I said, it's a further illustration of the things that we have in common with America. The fact that we even have elections around the same time that they have theirs too. So all of this is, like I said, a depiction of how close the two countries are. So I am very confident that both countries will go through the process smoothly, and at the end of the day, we will be drawn closer together by virtue of the fact that we are both able to observe good, reliable, and credible elections.
Finally, before I let go of you, we can all attest to the chaotic nature of the world in which we find ourselves in right now. I know it's a very sensitive area. The U.S. is supposed to serve as a global police, as it is when you look at what is happening in the Middle East with regards to the Palestinians and, of course, Israel. What do you make of the situation? Do you think there's going to be a ceasefire actually championed by the United States anytime soon?
Well, you know, there is a multilateral order, there is a United Nations system, and of course, there are the great powers. They all play a significant role in the maintenance of international peace and security. I can only say that I am confident that eventually the great powers will be able to mediate successfully between the warring factions. The U.S. definitely is a country that functions within the paradigm of multilateral organizations. And they also have respect for international order, international peace, and the international system. So I have no doubt in my mind that whatever role that they play in the Middle East, it will be to ensure that there is peace, which eventually it prevails. And there is protection for civilian and human life. That is all I can say about that. But my faith in America's positive role in the world remains strong and definitely undented.
Director, thank you so much for your time. It is a pleasure speaking to you on Diplomatic Affairs. It is the 248th anniversary or independence of the United States of America, and we are here at the Embassy of the United States of America. Of course, the ambassador is a very good friend of ours. This is Diplomatic Affairs, but I spotted something very interesting here. I see the way she's promoting U.S. businesses here in Accra, and guess what? They are all over, from Pizza Hut to KFC, to you name it. You know, there are so many companies here, and I wanted to say something about it because I find it very interesting that she is promoting U.S. businesses here, right here in the compound of the U.S. Embassy. Excellency, you look gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming.
Well, you're welcome. Anything for the United States of America. We are friends. Ghana and the U.S. are very good friends. I actually, in your speech, you mentioned one very important thing before I touch on the business bit. You talked about the two countries going through elections this year, which would also be a test to their democracies.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so important, and we have so many things in common, but including our elections being within a month of each other. And our parliament was also evenly divided, which was good for democratic growth. And the sanctity of elections and the sanctity of our democratic institutions that make those elections legitimate has never been more important. And Ghana is a very important example for West Africa and beyond. And I like to think that the United States is an example, but we know that we have to work hard to protect that example. So I'm glad that that's another thing we in Ghana have in common.
It's good to know that we are two good friends, you know. Let's talk about the business aspect of this relationship. Yeah. You know what? I find it very intriguing. It is the first time that I've seen, like you, I know how you do with your business, and I know this is why you are in the country. But to find all of them here, and for you to be going from one stand to the other and taking pictures and posing, why?
Well, I was getting some KFC and some Pizza Hut in the process, but I'm very grateful to the sponsors of this event, for not only for helping us with the event, but also for what they do in Ghana. They're creating jobs and innovating and having good human resources practices, so it's fabulous to be able to highlight them. So KFC is here and Pizza Hut is here. Heritage Beer has an American-style lager. Chevrolet is here with some model vehicles. And Fireball Whiskey is an American drink that everybody likes. And Pinkberry Yogurt is here, so a real taste of America. And then we're grateful for the sponsors who also gave us the money to help with the event, so I don't want to forget them. But it's nice to have a taste of America.
You know, your leadership is exemplary. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Diplomatic Affairs on Pan-African Television. Like I always say, it is always a pleasure to have you join us for the details when it comes to subjects around diplomacy, foreign policy, engagements between countries at the bilateral and multilateral levels. Thank you always for your time. My name is Harriet Nati. Join us same time next week. Enjoy the weekend.